Hey guys, Matthew here, and welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to be setting up XenDesktop on a virtual environment with one virtual delivery agent and one delivery controller, studio, director, a license server, and storefront on one server. And this is going to be known as a dirty lab, which means there won't be a lot of servers involved. We'll have three servers technically. We're logged on to my domain controller here, and then we have our virtual delivery application or virtual delivery appliance, and I'm going to show you how to install that as well as how to configure the studio and XenDesktop. Now the version I'm using is 7.18, and what we're going to be doing today is configuring it. So I've done a episode on XenApp as well. You guys will get to see that very soon. But yeah, pretty much I have two machines that are running at the moment. And so yeah, so what we need to do, there are two important things to XenDesktop. There is a Citrix Studio and a storefront. Now first off, we need to set the site up. So first off, we need to deliver applications and desktops to your users. That's the first thing we're going to do. Click on that. Now, just to mention as well, I'm actually connected to my home network from home, so pretty much I'm in Toowoomba at the moment, so quite a far away, and I'm connected to the home network from here. Pretty cool. So first off, we're going to need to give our site a name, so I'm going to call it Pool Solutions. We're going to set up our databases. As you can see, they've all been detected automatically. Last time I did have some issues with the database, and the way I overcame this is I just reinstalled the whole thing again. Okay, there we go. Now we can add a license, or we can use a 30-day trial license. You can add a license later, and as you guys can see here, we're connecting to the local host, which is the database server, and we're going to click next. The connection, we're not going to use a connection for this example. It's going to be quite simple. We can add additional features like app V and app DNA, but we're not going to use it for this demonstration. We'll be looking at that in another video. So we can then click next, summary, and finish. So while that's doing that, we're setting up our site. We also need to set up our storefront as well. So once the site setup is finished, we can then go ahead and set up our storefront as well, and virtual delivery agent, which is what VDA stands for. If you guys have noticed, I'm actually recording on my laptop at the moment through a microphone that is actually connected inbuilt into my PC at the moment, so we're pretty cool with that. So yes. And there you guys have it. We've now set up the site, and now it's time we set up our storefront as well. Actually, I don't think we need a storefront for this one, I believe. So what we now need to do is, I'm still experimenting as well on how to set up the system. Here we go, storefront. I knew we had to set up a storefront. There we go. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and set up a virtual delivery agent, which is VDA for short. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to relaunch the XenApp installation medium, and we're going to click Virtual Delivery Agent for Windows Server OS. And we're going to install this on a VM. We're going to create a master image. We're going to install both core components. We'll just install the additional components. The delivery controller is this one. And also it's recommended to use the DNS name. There we go, we've got the green tick. And then we're going to add it. Click next. We'll leave these features as, we'll leave everything as default. This is a dirty lab. Summary and install. The server then will need to be rebooted after that has been set up. Now, set up machines for desktops and applications or remote PC access is something that we also need to set up. So we'll do that. So first things first, I also believe we do need our virtual delivery agent before we do that. Okay, so here we go, guys. So we have 3 different types of operating systems. We have the server OS, the desktop OS, and the remote PC access. So the server OS machine catalog provides hosted shared desktops for a large-scale deployment of standardized Windows Server OSs or Linux machines. So yes, you can run this on Linux. A desktop OS machine catalog provides VDI desktops, ideal for a variety of different users. Or we go remote PC access, which is the machine catalog provides users with remote access to their physical office desktops. So in this case, we don't have physical desktops, so it's going to be server OS. Now, as well as that, we're not using a machine catalog as we specified earlier, and we're going to deploy. Let me just have a look here. We're not going to use another. And we're just going to leave it as default, and we're now going to add a computer. So this is a server here, if I can remember correctly, is called XenDesktop VDA1. If I can nope. Let's see if I'm going to have to look for it. Advanced. Here we go. I've called it XenDesktop VDA1. And I'll get rid of the other one because we don't need that. And of course, we'll click OK. And there we guys go. We've imported the machine. And we're going to then click next, and finally click summary. The machine catalog, we're going to call it, so this is a catalog, so where all the machines would be stored, so you could call it something like general desktops for all users, or you could maybe put it as it says here, Windows 7 Service Pack 1 Sales, so like the sales department have a special desktop for the sales part. So pretty cool. So for example, if you're running a multi-business, so I was running web hosting, and we had web developers as well as business developers. There'd be 2 different setups for that. So what I'm going to call this is, I'm going to call this general desktops. If my keyboard will let me type in there. Then we're going to click finish. As you guys can see here, also the VDA is taking its time to set up. As you can see, it's got to go out and install all the prerequisites, and unfortunately my internet is ridiculously slow, so it will take its time. So now we have our delivery groups. So we have 2 things here. We have the machine catalogs and the delivery groups. The delivery groups are what actually assign what desktops to what users. So for example, think of an example here. So we had 4 different types of groups. We had guest users, we had the sales department, we had the web developers and the business developers. We would all set up groups and assign those desktops and applications to those users. So essentially it's like organizational units in Active Directory. That's how I see it anyway. I'm not sure if that's right. So first off, we need to set up our delivery groups. Unfortunately, because we only have 1 machine, we kind of only can set up general desktops. So in general desktops, we have 1 machine, and that is the VDA, so the 1 VDA here. And we're then going to click next again. The machine allocation, all users are going to have access to this from a domain. Applications, so this is the bit where I got stuck. But after a lot of testing, we could test it if we wanted to, so we could add applications if we wanted to. We don't want to, we want to just add desktops. So from the delivery group, these are users who can access the desktop. So display name as general desktop, and every single user has access to it. and then enable this desktop. Click OK, and then click Next. Now I'm going to call this General Desktops. And there we go. We're then creating our delivery group. So all we now need to do is just wait on the virtual delivery application, and then I can show you how it all works. Now, as you guys can see here, I've got this little orange one here, and that means that it needs to actually configure. This is still needing to be configured. So as soon as we reboot it, we should be fine. But yeah, it's just pretty much a waiting game now. So pretty much, I'll be right back once the delivery controller, the virtual delivery agent has installed. Alright guys, so the VDA is now finished installing. It took a little longer than 12 minutes, but now we can just restart the machine and then we will have our system ready to go. So yeah, and this is the store URL, and this is what we use to actually connect to the server. So if I go to Internet Explorer or IE, we'll have a look there and see if we're going to access the system. Now I haven't seen if we've got our delivery groups yet. We might have to, I think we did set up a delivery group. Yes we did, beautiful. Alright. And if we look at our machine catalogs, beautiful. And General Desktops, if I look here currently, it's giving us a little warning. And that's because the machine isn't actually online at the moment, / the VDA software hasn't been installed correctly yet, so we've got to wait for it to install. Yeah, see, as you can see, it's as you can see at the moment, it seems to be fine, but it's actually offline at the moment. Now, so what we need to do is, in order to access the web, we've got a store site. And as you guys can see here, this is the web link, and Internet Explorer has come up, so we'll just quickly have a look at that. Click Ask Later. And we've got a detailed error. That's interesting. We haven't had this issue before. We'll have to let it work itself out. Also, we have got our receiver, so we'll just try this for a minute. That's interesting. I haven't had this issue before, so it's a learning curve here for me today. Oh, it doesn't like it. Okay, beautiful. So we're now connected. So I'm going to go back to a web browser. And I'm going to go to .local and then Citrix and then Store Web. And hopefully I've got this right. I'll just cancel that. And here we go, Citrix receiver is now launching. I do have the receiver installed, and I've already installed it. And so I've now allowed all users to log on to the XenDesktop. So this is a very, very new version of XenDesktop. And hopefully, with a little bit of luck, this should be working. Alright, so now I need to log in as home. And that should now log me in, fingers crossed. Now the reason it is a bit slow is purely because I'm VPN'd into my network. Let's have a look at desktops. Bingo, general desktop. If I click that, that should... Okay, cannot start desktop. So let's have a look and figure out why. So we go back into our studio, where everything's configured. We need to have a look at our delivery groups. We need to make sure that everything's okay and operating correctly. And now all I've got to do is view the sessions, make sure it's all working. Oh, it says here it's initializing at the moment. So we might need to give it a few minutes, otherwise I'll do some research into it. This one's taking its time. So let's just check out if delivery groups are also working correctly. Total unregistered. Let's just check out delivery group is okay and working correctly. Now look at our desktops, because we're purely launching desktops here. As you can see, general desktop, any delivery group can use it. User settings. Let's have a look at the storefront. We might have to add our storefront. That could be an issue. Oh, did that wrong. I'm just going to call this our store web. So just FYI, I haven't actually used a newer version. I'm still using an older version, so this is still a learning curve here for me. So it might be a little bit of research to do and looking into. Alright, so as you guys can see here, I'm logged in, and this is what my desktop is essentially. Okay, the storefront server should have been added. Beautiful. The access policy, let's have a look at all of that stuff here. Oh, we've got to select it, that's why. Now we'll just have a keep looking through it and just seeing, is there anything? Okay. Now because I'm not using the net scaling gateway, they VPN in. Well, I VPN in and just test it. We're going to have a look and see if it works. So first off, we're going to go back again, refresh the page, desktops, fingers crossed this works, bingo! And there we go guys, I'm into the desktop. So probably what the issue was there, it was probably either the system needed refreshing, or it was something that I just did that needed changing. But there you guys go, I'm now logged in to the desktop, and there we go. It works! Yippee! It all works, fantastic. And that guys is how you configure a XenDesktop, and obviously because this is evaluation, it's all in evaluation mode, so I'm not sure about pricing and stuff like that. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you did enjoy this episode, a like button, do subscribe, would be kindly appreciated. So thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I'll catch you all in the next episode. Bye for now, guys.